Hey everyone, Nixon here, bringing you a guide on how to optimize your pet management and control as an Unholy Death Knight in patch 5.4.7. It's important to note that proper pet management is a huge aspect of playing an Unholy Death Knight, as your pet possesses plenty of key abilities that can be used to not only score kills in arena, but be used to prevent a lot of CC and damage from landing on you or your partners as well. So to begin this guide, I'll discuss the main pet abilities that you should always be paying close attention to, and then discuss the ways in which they are used and provide you with a few examples. Okay, so first off, your pet's main damaging ability is Claw. Notably, the ability does cost energy, however your CCing type abilities such as Gnaw and Leap do not cost energy, nor are they on global cooldown as of patch 5.4. This means that you're able to keep Claw on auto attack as it will optimize your damage without penalty, seeing that Huddle isn't anywhere as frequently used and costs a mere 10 energy. However, there is one thing you absolutely need to keep in mind. When your pet is enraged, meaning you've already shot out 5 death coils and spent an Unholy Rune to use Dark Transformation, your pet's Claw ability will cleave. This means that your Claw will hit more than one target when your pet is in its enraged form, which will last 30 seconds. This means that if the enemy target your pet is hitting while your pet is enraged is in melee range of another enemy target while it is CC'd through an abilities such as Scatter, Wyvern, Frozen Trap, Polymorph, Blind, etc., or any other CC that breaks on damage for that matter. So you're going to want to turn your pet's Claw or put your pet on passive when your pet is within melee range of a breakable CC basically, as your pet will break CC and ruin your team setup if Claw is active while it is enraged. So what I generally do is press a keybind to put my pet on passive when he is near a breakable CC when in enraged form. While it's important to optimize your damage through all sources, it's clearly never a good idea to have your team CC break as you will lose pressure among other things. The next notable pet ability would be Gnaw. Gnaw is a 3-second physical stun that also does damage. It is on a minute cooldown, however when your pet is enraged, it is also important to note that the stun will be 4 seconds and do 25% more damage. Gnaw can be used in a variety of ways. So for example, let's say a Lock fakes your Mind Freeze with a Fear, and then chooses to recast Fear with a Shadow Fury stun on your healer. You can use Gnaw as a second interrupt to prevent the CC. This enables you to save grips and asphyxiates for when you're unable to Mind Freeze a cast your team doesn't really want to get off. Another good defensive usage of Gnaw would be if a Lock is casting a Chaos Bolt with a coil on you and uses his Aura Mastery to stop one of your partners or team from being forced to use much bigger cooldowns. For example, your team is forced to react to the bolt with major defensive cooldowns, or you have to use your Trinket and Grip to prevent the bolt. So what I'm essentially getting at is Gnaw can be used to prevent hard cast / big damaging spells such as Chaos Bolt, Aim Shot, in order to save you or your partners from dying and or being forced to use major defensives. You can also use Gnaws to set up kills. A great way in doing this, for example, is when you use a Gnaw on a hunter when his healer is in a CC and you Gnaw him in a low spot so that he'll be unable to get a deterrence off, for example. Next off we have Leap. Leap is most commonly used as your pet interrupt. It is also on a 30-second cooldown and is merely a gap closer when your pet isn't enraged. This means that pretty much the only time you're going to be using this spell outside of your pet being enraged is to combo it with a Gnaw to stop a cast such as a Polymorph, Clone, Fear, etc. You should use this Leap/Gnaw combo over anything else when you can, as it is really primed to stop CC you can't stop when you're either A, non-melee range to use Mind Freeze, or B, getting cross-CC'd and need to control your pet to stop the incoming CC on your behalf. Additionally, using your pet's regular Leap to connect to a target in conjunction with Gnaw means that you'll have a greater chance at being able to save your grips and asphyxiates to capitalize mostly on pressure and scoring kills, rather than needing them to peel or prevent CC. Enraged Leap during your pet's 30-second Dark Transformation is when the ability starts to have a lot more potential for better usage. Leap when enraged will not only interrupt spellcasting and serve as a gap closer between your pet and a target, but it will also root the target for 2 seconds. Additionally, Leap is technically your only ranged interrupt, as it also has a 5 to 30 yard range. This means you're going to want to use Leap to prevent a Soul of the Forest Cyclone or any clone in general, for example, because it's important to prevent your killer from being CC'd. Or, if you're fighting a Priest in 2s that plays Dominant Mind, and keep in mind most of them do in 2s, Using Leap on Dominant Mind will not only prevent the 8-second Dominant Mind, but it will also stop the priest from running your healer to his position to get an even further CC chain through a fear. This means you won't have to throw a grip or an asphyxiate to stop the long CC chain, but rather a small 30-second pen interrupt on a short CD. Though not something you've probably seen before, if you're playing PhD for example, as it is pretty much the main DK comp outside of Mistweaver TSG in the US at least right now, you and your hunter can actually coordinate to trap off the 2-second route. You'll want to try and get good at doing stuff like this, as it isn't something people will predict and it will optimize the duration of your CC chaining. Also keep in mind that in WAD, scatter will be removed, so it's something that you might want to try practicing if you do happen to play with a hunter. Also, when training a healer in 2s or playing a melee comp in 3s, you can move your pet back 5 yards and then have him leap the cast, so you can lock down and healer even harder in conjunction with abilities such as Asphyxiate, Gnaw, Mind Freeze, and Death Grips. And yes, this also means that you're going to want to make a comfortable bind for your move pet if you want to use Pet Leap optimally, as you cannot use it on the target you want to use it on if that target is within 5 yards of your pet. Additionally, you've got the most simple usage of this spell, which is to focus Leap Interrupt with Enraged Pet to counter heals from healers in order to make the most out of you and your partner's pressure in the arena or even score a kill. So now that we've learned that your pet is indeed an invaluable entity to the team, it's about time I've addressed to you some of the essentials for keeping him active and alive. First off, your pet is prone to being targeted at a few times, especially against comps that have a lot of damage over time spells. This means your pet is going to be taking some damage at times. Now, there's some valuable tools that you'll need to be aware of to keep your pet alive. First off, Huddle is on a 45-second cooldown and reduces your pet's damage taken by 50%. In your pet's regular form, he'll huddle in place for 10 seconds and not make any other actions. This means you won't really be doing much with your pet if you huddle him in this form. So the only real time I would use Huddle is when your pet is in his enraged form, as your pet will not have his actions restricted and you will still have him to your disposal to do damage, CC, and stop cast. Anyways, always remain vigilant of your pet's health, as there's a lot of things you can do with the abilities it provides in arenas as listed above. And with this being said, do not forget to make a death coil macro for your pet, as death coils are what you will use to keep this asset of your team alive. You can see a list of my pet macros in my add-on sections on my Skillcap's profile. And to basically wrap things up, I would like to summarize and note a few things. You should use your Dark Transformation off cooldown, as your pet becomes much more effective and opens up plenty of opportunities for you to lock down casters such as Locks, Shadow Priests, and Mages, as well as Ellies. So for example, an Ellie can't drop a grounding totem, for example, and it now opens up a lot of potential for cross CCing, and you have Leap and Knock combo to prevent CCs as well. Also, you should remain vigilant of your pet's health, as you're able to keep him alive when he's getting heavily trained through abilities such as Huddle and Death Coil heals. Also, you should be playing with Death Coil Minor Glyph that refunds runic power when you use Death Coil to heal your pet. This is also because the other glyphs besides Resilient Grip are obsolete for the most part. Also, you should make sure that you have all of your pet moves off auto attack except for Claw, but always remember to keep Claw on unless your pet is next to something that is in a breakable CC while it is enraged. The reason you're going to want to do this is because your pet will randomly use his abilities at certain times, thus making you lose control of your opponents and having your abilities likely to be wasted. Obviously, it's better if you're the one in control, so you can have pet abilities to your disposal in critical positions and not have your pet doing random stuff. Anyways guys, I hope you were able to learn quite a bit about optimizing pet control and how to lock down casters, as well as keeping your pet active on the battlefield as an unholy Death Knight. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding pet control or anything in general, feel free to message me here on Skillcapped or in game. Thanks for watching and have a great day, and remember to treat your pet well.